here's a simulation based on a true story. This is a mid-sized manufacturing toy company in Switzerland. The names have been changed and the pictures have been changed, but the processes and the strategy, the KPIs that you're about to see are real. And you can see it's a mid-sized company, but they're in the third generation. They've been in business since 1937. And, if you take a look at what the bullet points on the screen, you can see they're starting to think digital. They're starting to think global. They're selling through B2B, B2C channels. So all of this means strategy is now super important, especially for the newer generations that are coming in. So here I'm introducing the company to you. There's Samuel, third generation, Samuel Dupont, taking over for his father. You can see he's responsible for 6 direct reports. This is the value chain, the value stream of Dupont. You can see he's got these 6 manufacturing related areas, including the services part. And to take a look at the strategy that they want to deploy, well, they want to start becoming more digital. They want to make sure that manual activities are minimized, and they're leveraging digital technology to make sure they can make quick, confident decisions. So keeping that in mind, from a long-term goal, their breakthrough goal is to move from a crafts operation to industrial processing. They're not artisans anymore. They're starting to become a serious player in the European market, maybe even global. At that point in time, they're thinking, okay, so that's what we want to go in the long term. Annually, what do we want to do? Well, we want to create a new line of design-driven toys. And after the brains go to work putting together a lot of different ideas, and maybe even with the help of some external consultants, they decide, well, one of the key initiatives, strategic initiatives, we're taking back to Vincent's metaphor earlier, one of the wheels of the bus is going to be investing in 3D prototype printing. So what we're going to do now, we have a big strategic initiative. We want to invest in 3D prototype printing. And what are we going to get back from that? Well, just off the cuff, you can say, well, we're going to be increasing employee. We expect to see customer satisfaction go up. We expect to see employment engagement improve. We expect to see an increase in market share, and we expect to see decreased cost in production. These are all things that are aligned with digitization and leveraging the new technology that Industry 4.0 has to offer. Our balanced scorecard for this company, all of our metrics are going to be grouped into these first 4 categories. Many of you are already familiar with this and probably already using this. You can see we're interested in financial KPIs. How do our shareholders view us? This is what they're going to be thinking about. Client KPIs. How do our clients view us? Thinking about customer satisfaction is the first one that comes off the top of my head. Internal process KPIs. This is where the process people have their say. Where do we need to excel to improve? If you're a problem solver, these are the type of KPIs where you're tracking critical to quality touch points that are going to allow you to make a process more streamlined and ultimately make a client more happy. And then finally, your learning and growth KPIs. And this is my favorite area of KPIs, but it's also to us the most expensive, and it's probably the most expensive to everybody, because especially if you're a small company like ours, you're always wondering, where should we be learning? Where should we be doing R&D? And there's a bit of a difference, and you'll see this in a second, where you're actually training and where you're actually spending time just exploring things that may be accepted or may not. Going back to our last webinar, we're talking about failing fast, failing forward. And we should be able to do a lot of those things with our new 3D printers. We should be able to do a bunch of prototypes and say what's good, say what's not good, and feel confident about it because we have tangible results in our hands. So taking our KPIs to the next level, now that we have them in those 4 balanced scorecard lenses, now you want to go to this next level. You want to know, well, what are the key KPI categories in this company? We have cost KPIs, training KPIs, productivity, quality, risk and safety, research and development KPIs, and health and morale KPIs. And these 7 categories that we've decided to use, you can use 5 sometimes. Some people might use a bit more. But this is where you really start to understand who's going to be getting involved. Obviously, when you start talking about cost, you're going to have finance people. When you start talking about R&D, you're going to be having the engineers raise their eyebrows. So this is where, before you even start putting numbers to people and putting targets, this is the type of meaningful discussions you want to have at the senior level with the key process experts, key problem solvers, to say, what are the things we're going to be interested in that are going to help us feel comfortable with what we're doing. So taking a quick minute to discuss lead and lag KPIs is very important when you start talking about the cadence of management reporting. What are you looking at and when? And this is something, in my opinion, biggest mistake companies are making. They're not taking the time to understand the difference between the two in scheduling them and reviewing them in different categories. So lead KPIs are the actual measurements of things you do that give you outcomes. Lag KPIs are what most happens in the past. You look at them and say, are we happy? Are we not happy? Make some tangible examples. Example number one, a lead KPI, how many marketing campaigns you launch on social media. The more marketing campaigns you launch, your lag KPI telling you the more social media followers you probably have. Number two, how many safety audits you perform. The more safety audits you perform, lead KPI, the less accidents you're expected to have, lag KPI. And then the last one, the number of sales-related training classes your sales team takes. The more classes they take, in theory, the more sales they should be making. So you can see most of these have a positive correlation. Sometimes they have negative, like the second one. This is very important to start understanding each layer of management and how they should be approaching their daily business. So you start thinking about the amount of time each layer of management dedicates on a daily basis to performance, it starts making more sense. Let's go back to Dupont Toys. Let's talk about their lag KPIs. So you can see in the top right, I've color-coded our balanced scorecard. So from a finance point of view, we're expecting, these are lag KPIs, excuse me. So we're expecting increase in crowdsourcing partners. So we're expecting to see increase in investment. We're expecting to see an increase in sales revenue from the sales team, reduction in operational costs from finance and accounting. From a customer point of view, we're expecting to see number of client increase coming from the business development team. I can't see that because I got the Zoom covering it. But what does that say? Increase in customer satisfaction from the customer service team. Now I lost I can't toggle anymore. From an internal point of view, we're expecting to see increase in prototypes from the engineering team, from our nice printer. Reduction in defects from the blowing team and manufacturing, reduction in defects from the assembling team. This is all coming from the usage of that printer and the actual training that the actual hands-on people, manufacturing people are getting from the experience. From a learning and growth point of view, we're expecting to see increase in employee satisfaction in engineering, increase in employee satisfaction in manufacturing, increase in employee satisfaction in quality control, as well as in marketing and sales. So that once again, this is thinking about, are we doing good? Are we in line? These are our lag KPIs. Let's talk about leads for a second. So from a finance point of view, we're tracking spend on R&D. We know the more spend you put on R&D, the more you're expecting to see improvements on your lag. More spending on L&D, learning and development, from the HR team, from the L&D team. So we're expecting to see the more we spend on that team to train, the better our lag KPIs are going to be. What about from a customer point of view? We're expecting to see the more client meetings we have, the more sales we're going to make. The more material, number of brochures we send to the market from the digital marketing team, the better our bottom line is going to get. The more client visits the sales teams makes, the better our bottom line is going to get. Let's think about from internal process point of view. The more prototypes we make, the better everything is going to get. The more offers we make to the market, the more sales we're going to make. The more audits that the audit team makes, the better quality that the toys are going to be. So these are all things that you can push. You can push your team to excel. These are all lead KPIs, things that you have control of. Number of marketing campaigns from the digital marketing campaign. And this I know firsthand. You guys know I spend a good portion of my day in sales and marketing. The more you get focused on that, the better chance you have of finding your dream set of clients. And from a learning and growth point of view, I'm not going to read them all because you're going to see R&D on marketing research. It comes from the top down. The CEO himself needs to know what his challenges are when he goes out to the market looking for crowdsourcing partners, looking for investments. So that's R&D right there at the top. Training at the engineering level, training at the manufacturing level, training at this manufacturing again. This one I double color coded. R&D R&D from the R&D team. So effectively, that's not as much a learning and growth KPI as it is an internal productivity KPI, because that's their job. So you could argue it either way. Training from the quality team, training on the customer service team, training on the art and graphic design team, R&D on the finance and accounting. So these are all things that you now have on your to-do list that you can say, you know what, if we really want to make the most of this printer, these are KPIs we need to start pushing in the market. So summarizing and reporting, you can see just a cut from what you just saw. We got a long-term objectives that we expect our 3D printer to help us increase customer satisfaction to 85%. We expect it to increase employee engagement to 40%, increase market share by 25%, and decrease cost of production by 10%. And you can see here with the color codes, these are KPIs now that we're going to be assigning to our team leaders. Just to give everybody a quick overview, especially if you haven't seen Presto before. So here we have our company. This Samuel, you can see, he's responsible for 27 teams, 63 people, and he's also responsible for 190 business processes. These are his different direct reports, as you saw on the slide. So we're looking at the KPI dashboard, and at the moment we're looking at all the KPIs for financial balance scorecard, customer, process, and learning and growth. And of course, if you drill into any one of these, show me all these internal process KPIs, you can see 13 are risk and safety, 5 are quality, 10 are productivity, 5 are delivery. And we like to keep our lead KPIs separate from our lag KPIs. And at this point in time, just to know what are all these numbers in there, well, nice overview of everything is right here. And when you click on this, you get a view of everything, and you can see these are the high-level KPIs. And this is a beautiful report to bring to the steerco meeting and say, these are the things we're tracking. Financial KPIs, we're tracking shipment costs, fees for disposal, sales revenues. Customer KPIs, we're tracking sales revenues, response time, number of defects in quality, number of public incidents, risk and safety. So this here is a great way just to start at the top and say, hey, do we got everything? Because somebody might say, oh, we're missing a quality KPI that's financial related. And immediately people that are in that space are going to be able to add value by discussing. So looking at this now, if you take a look at all of this, you can see, I'm going to put on the objective view, and I'm going to show you the wheels of the bus in Presto, or should I say the initiatives that this company is taking forward. Number 5 is the one we've been talking about for the last 15 minutes, investing in 3D prototype realization. So if I look at my objective view and I open up the report on this, I see immediately, here's my strategic objective. These are the people that are responsible for it using the RACI Magic Logic. So you can see the engineer lead is accountable for this, and it's in the hands of the quality assurance lead. Here's our annual goals. Annual goal, decrease cost of production, increase employee engagement, promote digital transformation awareness.